I'm Norma Jean with Realty Executives in Action. Do you have any real estate plans for 2014? Why not put your plans in the hands of an executive? It costs no more to have the very best. Put our experience to work for you.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Tonight on News 46, the primary election results are in. Meteorologist Mike Chilitis opens a website for weather. Some good advice from Infinity Hospice Care. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Monique Mitchell. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, June 11, 2014. I'm Monique Mitchell for News 46. Well, the primary election was held yesterday. Here's Deanna O'Donnell with the results.
The primary election results are in. In Nye County, we have 23,406 registered voters. Those who turned out to vote on Election Day, 3,165. Absentee ballot, 305 voters. Early voting reporting a turnout of 3,465 for a total of 6,935 votes locally in the primary election. Nonpartisan votes, 1,113, Democrats, 1,924, and Republicans, 3,898. And these are the candidates that are moving on to the general election. In Congressional District 4, Democratic incumbent Stephen Horsford against Crescent Hardy. Governor Republican incumbent Brian Sandoval wins, with none of the above winning almost 30% of the Democratic vote. Lieutenant Governor candidate moving forward will be Mark Hutchinson against Lucy Flores. Democratic District Attorney Brian Kunze will go against Republican Las Vegas Attorney Angela Bello. State Controller candidates moving forward will be Republican Ron Connect against Republican Barry Herr. Nye County Tax Assessor will be Sherry Stringer against incumbent Shirley Madsen. In the County Commissioner race, Andrew Butch-Baraski will win the Republican majority race in District 4. He will only need one vote to win in the general election. In District 5, Republican Dan Chinhuffen will go against Democrat Robert Bob Howard. In the Public Administrator's Office, Robin Durand Rudolph will go against Robert Pilkington. Judge Kim Walker won unopposed. Judge Kent Jasperson will go against Anita Springs in the much-anticipated sheriff's race. Sharon Worley took 1,634 votes and will go forward against Assistant Sheriff Rick Marshall, who received 1,117 votes. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. That's your primary election results.
Well, Mike Chilitis, who is the former Las Vegas Channel 13 weatherman, stopped by the KPVM TV studio to tell us about his new weather program. Chilitis has been in the business for 32 years, and KPVM is proud to now utilize his forecasting program.
I've got a program called Mike's Weather Nuts. Now, in various markets, it's been named different things. At Channel 13, it was called Weather First Kids, but that was my program. Now I've gone back to the original name, Weather Nuts with a Z. Kids are nuts about weather, of course. And that program, I probably talked to, in my career, 500 to 750,000 kids is where I estimate it. I've talked to as many as 150 schools in 1 year about weather. So I've got that program, then I've also got Mike's Bookworms. Now, Mike's Bookworms is a very, very special program for me because I had trouble reading as a kid. I didn't like it. I was bored by it. I got turned on to reading later on in life, and since I remember the day, July 17th, 1983, I've read a book a week. So it's very, very important to me. I've also got another program called Color the Weather. So I got lots of kids programs. They're all at my site. They're all available to sponsor and for advertisers as well. But one of the things that's nice about not being bound by the time parameters of local TV anymore is that I can get out to Pahrump. I used to get lots of requests from schools in Pahrump to come out here, and it just wasn't possible during the confines of a normal day. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the travel time. Boulder City was as far as I could get. And so I'm going to look forward to doing that. I'm also going to be starting a senior citizens weather program.
Tell me a little bit about how you're going to kick off your Weather Nuts and then your also Bookworms programs here in Pahrump.
Well, you know, there's not a lot of schools here as opposed to what there is in Clark County and in Las Vegas. So now it's a position where I can, or a situation where I can call schools individually and say, look, here's the program that you asked me about before. I can come there now. And that'll be it. I'll just call each school individually. And then that'll be open as well to groups, to homeschool kids, to privately schooled kids, to other groups that say at the Civic Center or whatever the case may be, where I can come and talk to them. But that's part and parcel to a larger program, MikeChilinas.com, because what I'm providing, I think, for Pahrump is something that I watched for a long time, nearly 10 years in Las Vegas, and that's weather information.
And so give the website address once again and how to spell.
It's just MikeChilinas.com, MikeTSOLIN as in Nancy, AS.com. Pahrump forecast is there. I update it twice daily.
And for more information on you, we can contact you through that website?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike at MikeChilinas.com.
Out about prescription antibiotics for children that doctors are prescribing.
I'm Norma Jean with Realty Executives in Action. Do you have any real estate plans for 2014? Why not put your plans in the hands of an executive? It costs no more to have the very best. Put our experience to work for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Integrity Taxi. Reliable, safe, and fun. Call Integrity Taxi at 751-1111.
Welcome back to News 46. Prescribing antibiotics for children is very common. About 75% of these medications are given to treat acute respiratory tract infections, or ARTIs. A new study evaluated whether pediatricians who were updated about current prescribing guidelines and given feedback about the prescriptions they wrote would prescribe these drugs more efficiently.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Most visits to a pediatrician's office, like this one, are routine.
The other thing we're doing today is we're going to be giving our first set of immunizations.
However, sometimes they are not. Children often see their physicians for a variety of illnesses, including acute respiratory tract infections, or ARTIs. Some of the most common are sinus infections, strep throat, and pneumonia. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends penicillin or amoxicillin as first-line agents to treat these infections, but about 50% of children receive broader-spectrum antibiotics.
The two main goals were to make sure that kids were getting the right drug to best cure their infections, and to make sure that we avoided kids getting drugs that they didn't need.
Dr. Jeffrey Gerber from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and co-authors studied 18 pediatric primary care practices sharing a common electronic health record. Physicians in 9 of those practices were provided a 1-hour education session about current prescribing guidelines. The physicians were also given 1 year of personalized feedback on how they use those guidelines when prescribing medications for viral and bacterial ARTIs. Physicians in 9 other practices prescribed medication without the intervention.
Off-guideline prescribing for these common infections decreased by nearly 50% for pediatricians who received the education and feedback. And specifically for patients with pneumonia, the intervention reduced off-guideline prescribing by 75%.
Researchers say this was a relatively simple intervention that produced large benefits.
Parents should be confident that we have a way to get kids the right drugs at the right time to best cure their infections while minimizing unnecessary side effects.
Catherine Dolph, The JAMA Report.
Prior research has shown that unnecessary prescribing for viral acute respiratory tract infections had been declining. Well, town board member Dr. Tom Waters has sent out an open letter to the community talking about a new movement by a bold group of residents that can overturn the ruling by the Supreme Court to dissolve the town board form of government. In 2012, a ballot question brought forth by the Nye County Commissioners passed by a narrow margin that dissolved the town board form of government, placing in charge the Nye County Commissioners. Well, Brian Bertram from Infinity Hospice Care speaks to News 46 and explains why it is so important to have the doctors you wish while in hospice.
A patient's doctor is probably the most important person in their medical care. Somebody you trust, somebody you know, somebody that you've worked with over the years that knows your care personally. And so we invite the doctor to participate within the hospice plan of care. When we get a referral from a patient from a doctor, we talk with the physician and we say, "Doctor, would you like to follow the patient?" And then be able to lead the team and talk about the patient's needs and develop a written plan of care. So we really go out of our way to try and engage the patient's doctor and other community physicians within that plan of care.
Infinity Hospice Care is not just here locally in Pahrump, but of course conveniently locally here in Pahrump. But you also cover a wide array of counties throughout Nevada?
Yeah, absolutely. We started in Clark County in 2007, but we actually cover a lot of counties in northern Nevada: Sparks, Reno, Washoe County. We go to Carson, Minden, and we just opened Churchill County and Fallon. So we actually cover more hospice counties for hospice than anyone else in the state of Nevada. So we're pretty proud of that.
How can people get in touch with you?
The best way to talk to us is to call us locally at 775-537-2002.
Well, folks, keep it here to find out what happened in your entertainment this week with Deanna O'Donnell.
Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
Welcome back to News 46. Now here's Deanna O'Donnell with your entertainment this week.
Tributes are flowing in for a much-loved British actor and comedian Rick Mayall, who died in London on Monday at the age of 56. Mayall was one of the leading lights of Britain's alternative comedy scene in the 1980s. He's best known for starring roles in the hit TV series Blackadder, The Young Ones, and The New Statesman and Bottom. Mayall died suddenly, and the cause of death is unknown at this time. Mayall first found widespread fame in the student sitcom The Young Ones, which ran for 2 years on the BBC and was later shown on MTV in the United States. A truck driver charged in a weekend crash that killed a man and injured comedian Tracy Morgan and others in New Jersey was awake for more than 24 consecutive hours before the incident. 35-year-old Kevin Roper is charged with vehicular homicide and assault by auto in the Saturday morning crash on the New Jersey Turnpike. The wreck took place about 1 a.m. when the limo bus Morgan was in was hit by a tractor trailer. The collision killed Morgan's fellow passenger, comedian James McNair, who performed under the name Jimmy Mack. Morgan is showing signs of improvement and has had surgery on his broken leg. He sustained various injuries and broken bones. Renowned radio personality Casey Kasem is in critical condition at a hospital in Western Washington. The 82-year-old former host of American Top 40 and Casey's Top 40 is receiving antibiotics through IVs, blood pressure support medicine, and care for his bed sores. Kasem was admitted to the hospital Sunday after one of his daughters and an ambulance crew retrieved him from a home where he and his wife were staying with friends. The radio icon has been at the center of a family feud between Gene Kasem, his wife of 34 years, and his 3 children from his first marriage. Kasem has Lewy body disease, the most common type of progressive dementia after Alzheimer's, and has been bedridden for some time. He had been at a facility in Santa Monica, California, before Gene Kasem took him to Washington State after his daughter, Carrie Kasem, won temporary conservatorship over her father's care. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. That's your entertainment this week.
Well, Sandy Garfunkel tells us about her short film that was shot on location in Scotland.
My film's called Out of the Ash. It's a film about a man who's robbed at gunpoint and he turns a table on his mugger. And it was shot in Scotland, but it's supposed to take place in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. So you're from the United States. Why'd you choose Scotland?
I was doing a master's program at the University of Edinburgh, and this is my thesis film. And, yeah.
So how's it doing at the festivals?
It's doing pretty well. Certain festivals I can't announce yet, but it's been accepted into, and it's so far been, I think it's about 10 festivals at the moment, and we're still working on more.
So this is the first film that you've entered?
This is actually the second film. I was at this film festival in 2011.
Mm-hmm. Here, out here.
Yeah, out
what
here.
was that film?
That one was called Perhaps Tomorrow.
And so, are you working on anything in the future?
Yes, I'm actually working on a feature film script that I'm hoping to self-produce and direct down the road, but it's still in its first draft stages, so that's a little bit away.
So how can people find out more about your films and more about you?
Okay, my film, the best way to contact me or to find out about the film is to go to outoftheashmovie.com, and there's all sorts of stuff about my cast, my crew, myself, how to reach us, trailer, the good stuff.
So what's kind of your hopes for the future?
My hope is to do more of directing and writing of the stuff that I've written. That's kind of redundant. But yeah, so that's my hope, and to move into feature work at some point. I'm going to work on this feature, and there might be another short before that just to get some more fun practice out there.
Yeah. We'll see you back out here at the High Desert International Film Festival?
Absolutely. If I'm invited back, I will be back.
Now here's Angela Miles with today's First Business Brief.
This is the First Business Brief for Wednesday, June 11th. I'm Angela Miles. Drones are taking flight. The FAA has cleared the way for the first commercial drone flight. Oil company BP will fly aerial surveys in Alaska to monitor pipelines and equipment. The drone industry is pushing for more lax regulations. A big change is coming for United Airlines frequent flyer program. As of January 1st, customers will earn miles based on how much they pay for the ticket and not how far they fly. Passengers will earn between 5 and 11 miles per dollar spent. And another healthy sign for the job market. Employers are hiring at the fastest clip in nearly 6 years. The U.S. Department of Labor says 4.7 million people were put on payrolls in April, the most since June of 2008. It's also an uptick of 6% from a year earlier. Shortly before the recession started in 2007, there were 5 million hires per month. That's the First Business Brief. I'm Angela Miles.
Well, folks, keep it here because we are going to have your weather with Noah Began right after these messages.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body.
Hello and welcome back to News 46. Today is Wednesday, June 11th. Today we had sunny skies with a high of 98 degrees. It's nice to be out of these triple digits, even if it is only for a little while. Your average temperature at this time of year is 97 degrees, just 1 degree lower than that high there. Winds were coming from the south-southwest today at 8 miles per hour with gusts up to 14 miles per hour. The UV index today was 10, which is very high. Humidity was at 18%. Sunrise is at 5:26 this morning, and the record high in 1956 was 109 degrees. Tonight we'll have clear skies with a low of 70 degrees. Your average temperature at this time of year is 73 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour with gusts up to 10 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 27%. Sunset will be at 8:01 p.m. And the record low in 1976 was 55 degrees. Tomorrow we'll have sunny skies and we'll be back up in the triple digits at 100 degrees. Your low temperature will be 66 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest at 9 miles per hour with gusts up to 18 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 22%. Sunrise will be at 5:26 a.m. and the UV index will be 10, which is very high. For our 7-day forecast, we'll have a mostly sunny week. Your high temperatures will be ranging from the mid-90s to the low 100s, and your low temperatures will be ranging from the mid-60s to the low 70s.
Thank you, Noah. Well, folks, that does it for this edition of News 46. I'm Monique Mitchell, and from everyone up here at News 46, we hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you here again tomorrow. Until then, good night.